Hello, good evening, and welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present our top stories in the news tonight. NUPEZ describes the operations at the Ministry of Education as chaotic. UPND urged not to offer amnesty to allegedly corrupt individuals supporting the party. MUTENDERE Ward 34 Councillor BONIFACE CHIBEKA accused of illegally selling land. In international news, health workers in South Africa on a mission to breaking the rural-urban vaccine divide. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO striker Fashion SAKALA has bounced back from the Europa League heartbreak.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amid these uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple, lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluma. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage, and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Hello once again, the news in detail. Some residents living around Mahatma Gandhi school grounds in Lusaka's MUTENDERE area have accused area councillor BONIFACE CHIBEKA of illegally selling off the land adjacent to the school library. The said area was formerly an illegal dumping site, but construction of shops has now begun. Meanwhile, area councillor BONIFACE CHIBEKA has dismissed the allegations, urging all aggrieved parties to make relevant follow-ups with the Lusaka City Council LCC. More in this report.
Land in Zambia is one highly contended natural resource, as various wrangles have emerged from the same. The recent case is that from Lusaka's MUTENDERE compound near Mahatma Gandhi school grounds, where some residents allege that land adjacent to the school library has illegally been sold by the area councillor and the construction of shops commenced. The residents charged that no one in the area knew that the land on the former illegal garbage heap was available for sale, further charging that the councillor has placed his own people there.
Iswana tuza kwa tikuli mashopu nasa tifuna hapo nasa tu batipasa kwa chani malo ngati wanapasa mashopu maoni kukamba tinakamba bacho amna wana mangaba bana bwa manga mashopu bachokela ku chani kumatelo bina ngochokela ku chani nachokela ku Jestone nasa tifuna mashopu batipasa ngati ni mashopu maoni kupamba tidabo jaba amna bwa manga mashopu siti waziwa tinu andani. Meanwhile, MUTENDERE Ward 34 Councillor Mr. BONIFACE CHIBEKA has dismissed the claims.
I know some of the people are saying that those who are given land adjacent to the library, they should have been given to the local community there. But unfortunately, there's no law which provides that if you live near any land, then which means you are entitled to that land. No. The thing is that, in fact, I'm challenging some of them because some of the people from that community, in fact, they applied there and they were given. But I'm challenging those who claim that they've been living there time immemorial nearby. How come they are not applying for that land? How come just to take others and a few of them others from there, they did apply and they were given? So I'm challenging even others in some other areas who live near bare land where they feel it can be developed. Come up with, you can even consult my office so that I can advise on how to apply to Lusaka City Council. What we don't want are illegal plots. What we want is the plots to be given lightly free by Lusaka City Council. We don't want those who obtain land illegally, no. Of course, come to my office for advice or go to Lusaka City Council through the office of the town clerk. People will be advised on how to apply for land. Just just watching a land adjacent to you just for years does not make you the owner. No, kindly learn to apply for land in a normal channel.
He has further advised those with doubts to visit the Lusaka City Council LCC for verification. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Stakeholders have urged government not to disappoint the Zambian people in the fight against corruption, especially towards those that are seemingly supporting the ruling party. The Zambian Institute of Governance and Civil Liberties Advocacy Platform, ZIGCLAP, Chief Executive Officer Francis Chipoli has noted that in the previous administration, political opponents were followed until they changed the song, hoping that the situation is different now. Mr. Chipoli was commenting on the apology of Bowman Losambo to President Hichilema, who is facing corrupt charges. Meanwhile, GEA's Initiative Executive Director McDonald Chipenzi says the fight against corruption in the United Party for National Development is different from that of in the PF. More in this report.
Ubuchenjeshe wankoko pungwa tasakamana, translated as the clever tricks of a fowl or chicken does not bother the eagle. This is a Bemba proverb that anyone who understands its meaning will either apologize to those they've wronged or basically just change course in the way things are done. It is basically a warning shot to all wrongdoers insofar as public resources are concerned. Recently, on the official Facebook page for President Hakainde Hichilema, he posted the quote, "This post is according to the public court of opinion, sent shivers to those facing corruption allegations, among them embattled Kabushi Member of Parliament Bowman Losambo." Soon after that post, Mr. Losambo apologized to the head of state, assuring him of his support if need be, taking precedence from what happened in the Patriotic Front administration, where those political opponents with opposing views to the ruling party were allegedly persecuted until they rejoined the party.
All my supporters, I want you immediately to resign from UPND and rejoin Patriotic Front PS.
My prayer is that His Excellency Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu and Mr. Bowden Finlay find it in their hearts to forgive me.
In this regard, such stakeholders are concerned over such kind of apologies and intentions in the fight against corruption. The Zambia Institute of Governance and Civil Liberties Advocacy Platform, Chief Executive Officer Francis Chipoli says no one should be given amnesty on corruption charges on pretext of supporting the ruling party.
Urge them not to relent on those efforts, and also would like to caution them that the Zambian people, as I'm sure the administration has seen, they've got a lot of interest. They are following these corruption court cases. The Zambian people want to have their resources that were unfairly and justifiably stolen from us be returned to the national treasury. Those cases to start falling off like what happened in the previous administrations, where we had seen some politicians who had a lot of cases, maybe 5-6 cases that they were appearing in court, and the moment they joined the ruling party, you find that those cases starts falling off. Sometimes they are discharged for unexplained reasons. So we don't want the UPND to do a bucket of justice or a betrayal to the citizenry that are looking forward to recovery of the stolen national resources.
And GEA's Initiative Executive Director McDonald Chipenzi shares the same views, but is hopeful that this administration means well for the Zambian people.
I expect that the people that are joining the new party, the ruling party, will have amnesty for the crimes that they may be facing in the courts of law or being pursued by the police. I think that should not be the culture that we need to promote. What we need to promote is, yes, people should be allowed to associate with each other. They are free to find a party of their choice, an organization of their choice, and no one should prevent them from joining a ruling party or the opposition political party, but that should not act as an amnesty from being prosecuted in case they have cases pending with the courts of law or indeed with the police. We need to see genuineness in joining an association, in associating themselves with an association. It's not because they want their sins to be forgiven, but because they feel they will be more usable, more relevant to that association. And if they have done anything wrong, the association should not at any given time protect them.
Sharon Kalimula, Camnet News.
The National Union for Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NUPEZ, has described as disastrous the way the Ministry of Education is being managed under the United Party for National Development Administration. At a media briefing held in Lusaka Sunday, NUPEZ Executive President Victor Muyumba says it is an abuse of the workforce for the Teaching Service Commission to state that it will not confirm teachers on local appointment simply because they were not appointed by the Commission. Mr. Muyumba says denying the affected teachers the right to confirmation will not only infringe their rights but demotivate employees in the teaching fraternity. The union has since called upon the government to quickly issue Treasury authority to ensure that the Ministry of Education structures is operationalized. More in this report.
The Teaching Service Commission recently announced that it will not be confirming acting head teachers and their deputies across the country appointed by the Ministry of Education and their agencies, except for those appointed by the Commission. This has, however, angered the National Union for Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NUPEZ, who feel the decision will greatly affect the education sector, as those affected have been acting in these positions for several years and have sacrificed a lot for the positions which they have never been paid for. NUPEZ Executive President Victor Muyumba said this to the media in Lusaka Sunday morning.
But when we thought we are making progress, a statement is made that all such people, all those that received these letters from the ministry, should consider themselves as people that were simply wasting time, because their acting appointments will never be confirmed unless those that have letters from the Commission.
The union has since called on the government to quickly issue Treasury authorities to ensure that the new Ministry of Education structure is operationalized.
Now, we are calling upon all stakeholders. And what we mean by all stakeholders, we mean the Teaching Service Commission, we mean the Ministry of General Education, we mean the Public Service Management Division, and the unions, to ensure that the structure of the Ministry of Education, which was approved, is funded so that it is operational. We can't continue running Ministry of Education the way we are running it now. There's chaos. There's chaos out there.
And the education system in the country has, since the UPND administration took over office, seen a number of changes, among them the introduction of free education, as well as the promised recruitment of 30,000 teachers in 2022 alone. While the efforts are appreciated, the union says it is a disastrous the way the UPND administration is handling the Ministry of Education.
Upon the Minister of Education to make the position of the ministry clear, whether we are continuing with this automatic progression at grade 7 or not. And if we are continuing, let him explain how he expects the junior secondary level, in this case grade 8 now, starting grade 8, to manage these numbers and probably the levels of literacy. Let him just explain to the nation.
And the union says it is disappointed at the government's decision to U-turn on the agreement that it needed to upgrade over 10,000 teachers who have advanced their studies to high salary scales before beginning the recruitment of the 30,000 teachers.
When we were doing negotiations last year, we agreed that such teachers must be a priority before the 30,000 are recruited. And our estimation was that about 10,000 would have been upgraded. It was last week when it was being reviewed that the sitting in Chilanga, only upgraded 1,500. What happened to the collective agreement? What happened to the negotiations outcome?
Among other things, the union also urged the government to consider engaging local solutions in creating accommodation for the teachers, with plans to recruit the 30,000 teachers underway. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet News.
And Secondary School Teachers Union of Zambia SESTU's Director, Gender Affairs, Patricia Siame, says more sensitization on women's rights in the workplace needs to be done by unions and other stakeholders if the goal of achieving decent work by the year 2030 is to be realized. In an interview, Ms. Siame notes that in comparison to their male counterparts, women are more vulnerable in the workplace as they often fall prey to various vices such as sexual harassment. According to the Human Rights Watch, women have continued to face various forms of gender-based violence offences in the workplace, which also include assault.
I think as a union, the first thing that the union has done is to capacitate us as female leaders, so that we are able to reach out to our fellow females and encourage them on how best they can protect themselves even when they are in those workplaces. We do usually carry out sensitization workshops where we bring out issues to do with the women's workers' rights, so that even when they are in those workplaces they are able to know what they're supposed to do in case maybe their rights are infringed upon. So actually we are involved as female leaders in doing even worker education. We participate together with the male counterparts to ensure that the message that they are supposed to receive is rightly quoted.
A renowned Bishop, Joseph Kajila, has called on the church to take up its role of uniting the nation, describing the current state of the nation as painful and divided in the eyes of the church. In an interview, Bishop Kajila notes that there is need for the church to recognize its role in governance, stating that it has grown cold. Recent political happenings, such as the recent seizure of properties belonging to political officials and discharging of the same by the courts of law, have brought confusion, with political opponents taking to various media platforms to launch attacks on each other. More in this report.
The status of Zambia as a Christian nation is clearly recognized in the country's constitution. It is for this reason that the guidance of the church is sought on various national matters, as its voice is held in high regard. A clergyman, Bishop Joseph Kajila, however, notes that the church in Zambia has grown cold and divided since the 12th August 2021 general elections, as it was highly politicized. In an interview, Bishop Kajila, however, notes that there is need for the church to wake up and recognize its role in governance, stating that the country is divided and in need of serious moral guidance. Various happenings have characterized the political scene of recent, such as the seizure of property suspected to be proceeds of crime belonging to some political figures and discharging of the same by the courts of law. This has caused talk and divergent views among political players. The clergyman says it is in such times that the church should rise up and play its role.
So I think the way forward is we just need to repent, start afresh and be there as the mirror of society to unite the nation. It is quite painful that the people that belong in our various denominations, they depend on us church leaders. And so they come from different political parties. And when we stand up, to lead a particular political inclination, it divides the church. And I think those are some of the things we need to avoid. So the way forward, therefore, is let's come back. Because of what happened in 2021 general election, the church is cold now. It's cold. It's heavily divided. It's like it's tired. It's time we come back, calling upon the name of the Lord so that we are revived again. And taking advantage of this platform, I'm calling upon the fathers of the nation, the fathers of the faith, lead the way, to help the church be revived.
Meanwhile, another clergyman, Reverend Solomon Imbulo, has aired similar views.
So I'm saying to the clergy that, please, fellow clergymen, let us not be partisan. Let us be people's representative before God, meaning we should take the issues that are surrounding the nation before God so that God can guide, give us guidance.
They have called for the One Zambia, One Nation slogan to be reflected in the country. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary in charge of administration, Mambo Hamaundu, has revealed that only the outside paving of Simon Mwewa Lane Market in Lusaka remains to be done before it can be commissioned. In an interview, Mr. Hamaundu notes that once commissioned, it is expected that the problem of street vending in Lusaka will be reduced, as some of the traders will be housed in the market, which has an approximate capacity of 3,000 traders. Street vendors have been fighting running battles with the local authorities, as this vice is illegal in the country.
Plans have been there. Simon Mwewa is almost complete. The only thing that is remaining is to pave the outside, and after that is done, people will actually be compelled to move into these markets. And I think the issue of street vending must be looked at it from another context. If you look at the number of people who are on the streets versus the empty stores in just that city market there, it is informing you something. People find it a bit lucrative to trade on the street, not that there are no spaces in the markets. So as much as we appreciate to say not everyone can go into the market, but there has generally been resistance from you and me, the public and the vendors themselves, because it is us, the public, who buy from street vendors, and we think it's more convenient for us to buy from public vendors, and therefore the facilities which are designed to be utilized for trading are left unutilized, which must not be the case. So we must once again work together, the community and the vendors. This is for the good of everyone. If we all go into the market, if we all begin trading from the market, the people in the streets will come to the market to buy from us. And similarly, if you are one who's fond of buying from the streets and you stop buying from the streets, it will not be attractive anymore for the people to continue being on the street.
Zambia Information and Telecommunications Authority, ZICTA, says it is aware of many cybercrime activities happening in the country and that children are also falling prey of it. In an interview with Camnet News, ZICTA Acting Managing Director Pethel Perry says the authority as a regulator cannot be in every home to guard how children use the cyberspace, but says parents play a key role in raising awareness of the safe use of the internet. Ms. Perry says parents who buy electronic gadgets must also ensure safe use of the internet. She says the authority has been running a number of campaigns to raise awareness on cybersecurity and child online protection, advising parents to also consider installing child protective apps on the electronic gadgets.
And I think also as parents have a key role to play. As a regulator, we cannot be in each home. All we need to do is raise awareness. So that is why we have the child online protection program, which we have actually co-partnered at some stage with Save the Children to actually go into various provinces and meet the teachers so that they can impart the knowledge we give them onto the learners. But as you correctly put it, it is a vice that needs concerted effort to address it. It starts from the home. The fact that I give my child the gadget, I should make sure I have controls on how to guide that child to ensure that they use the internet correctly. There are some apps that are out there that are specific to children, and I would encourage parents to just ensure that those are the ones they ensure that the kids are limited to. But it is a risk, and I think it starts really from the home. As a regulator, we're able to educate at a high level at different points of contact. We even go into schools to actually make children aware of this. As part of our cyber awareness campaign, we go into secondary schools, primary schools, and have talks with the children so that they are aware of these vices.
The Zambia Institute of Policy Analysis and Research says that government must evaluate its decision to use the Tazara pipeline in bringing petroleum in the country. ZIPA Executive Director Dr. Harry Kimpoko says technology has evolved over the past years and says there is need to adopt new technologies and not stick to old infrastructure.
We should reappraise whether it is a viable option in reality. What I'm saying, we should not stick to the old, so it's own sake. If the system is not working anymore, then surely we need to move on. Okay? What happened in that time? Technology has changed, the market has changed, the demand levels in Zambia have changed. So you need to reappraise that and say, is this still relevant? Is this still working for us? Okay? So, you know, what is clear is that there needs to be a change in the petroleum supply system. And don't tell me because you invested in Tazama 40, 50 years ago, therefore you can't do without Tazama. When technology has changed, when the economy has changed, you must adapt. Okay? So don't fall in love with the infrastructure. Fall in love with the objective of what you're trying to accomplish economically. So certain things which are used to, which are comfortable with, may have to be set aside.
You're watching Camnet Television Main News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
We take risks every day, with some big things and some little things. Other risks are out of our control. But no matter what's important in your life, Savenda Insurance has got you covered. Whether it's for your home, vehicle, investments, or the people you love, you shouldn't have to worry about securing the future. Let us handle that. Since 2014, we have helped Zambians protect their health and personal property, offering peace of mind and fostering progress and development. Taking risks is what makes us grow. Insurance is what keeps us going strong.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amidst uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilu. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage, and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. The Northwestern Province Chamber of Commerce and Industry has welcomed First Quantum Minerals' over $1 billion United States investment package in 2 new projects in the province. Chamber President Mukumbi Kafuta says its members are ready to capitalize on the opportunities and says the chamber expects the investment will lead to social and economic development not only in Solwezi and Northwestern Province but Zambia as a whole. Mr. Kafuta says the chamber expects a significant proportion of business to be preserved for chamber membership to benefit in order to enhance members' experience and wealth creation in this region. The chamber has since called on the mining firm to give first priority to Northwestern Chamber affiliated companies when awarding tenders during the developmental phase of the S3 and Enterprise Nickel projects. First Quantum mining firm recently approved plans to invest $1.2 billion in its expansion of Kansanshin's operations in Solwezi, known as the S3 project, and a final $100 million to start its $250 million Enterprise Nickel project in Kalumbila district. The Southern Zambia Union of the SDA Church has embarked on seminars for its church leaders and board members on the new methods of winning new members to the church. Southern Zambia Union President Dr. Vani Munyumbwe says the initial seminars have commenced in Choma District under the global theme I Will Go for the period 2021 to 2025. Dr. Munyumbwe says the seminars are also important to the SDA Church because of the 22 million membership globally and the 601,000 who belong to the Southern Zambia Union who need to be nurtured. For details, here is Lawrence Kabuto in Choma.
The senior clergymen of the Seventh-day Adventist Church from the national and regional offices have received a thunderous welcome at Choma Central SDA Church through a guard of honor mounted for them by the Adventist youths. The delegation comprised Southern Union Zambian President Dr. Vani Munyumbwe, South Zambia Conference President Gladwin Mangwato, and other pastors of the SDA Church. Dr. Munyumbwe said the delegation was in Choma for a 2-day training seminar targeted at church leaders and board members to learn new skills in the area of evangelism aimed at winning more souls to the church.
This is very important to us because of the 22 million Seventh-day Adventist members globally and the 601,000 who belong to Southern Zambia Union. All these members are nurtured at a local church level. And if our leaders are not sharpened, they don't clearly understand the goals and the objectives and the mission of the church, then we won't have a strong and focused Seventh-day Adventist church.
And Pastor Gladwin Mangwato has this to say.
To make sure that our leadership in the conference are involved personally on their personal level in the mission of the church. We have a membership of 322,000, and most of them, a few number of them, they are the only ones that are involved in the mission. So the coming of our union leader will boost the morale, will motivate our members, will help us in the lessons so that everyone will be involved. Our desire is not to have spectators.
Meanwhile, Choma Central SDA Pastor Maxwell Muhimi outlined the benefits that the members will accrue from the training program.
Benefits are numerous. One of them is that we will expect that those who will be trained will be able to implement what they are going to learn. And then in the long run, this church will become too small because the members will be equipped, they will go out and be able to bring many more members here.
In his homily during the divine service, Dr. Munyumbwe called on SDA members to live transformed lives and get involved in the Gospel Commission.
The proclamation of the final message to all the world. And in that assignment, every Adventist must take part.
Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Choma.
A stock feed company has commenced supplying of feed to dairy cooperatives and feedlots in Southern Province aimed at increasing production in the livestock sector. Farm Feed Limited nutritionist Oliver Clayton said his company will supply fish, dairy, poultry, beef and other livestock feed closer to the farmer's doorstep. Mr. Clayton said the move is also intended to reduce transportation costs incurred by farmers when purchasing feed from districts dotted along the line of rail. Mr. Clayton made the disclosure when he paid a courtesy call on Mazabuka District Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator Simata at his office. And Farm Feed Ruminant Technical Advisor Kaweche Piri said the farmers should have feed throughout the year during the dry season and rainy season in order to increase production in various sectors. East once again has more.
Already supplying a fair number of farmers. One of them we visited this morning, Kushia and Mayfield, and a lot of the feedlots as well through the province. But what we haven't been supplying is our feeds to the dairy cooperatives, which is the main purpose of this visit.
We feel for the farmers in the sense that we would like to escort them throughout the year, thereby providing feed for animals during the rain season as well as during the dry season. Especially in the dry season when the grazing is poor, we always advise them to give a maintenance ration, which is in two categories. That is especially for the dairy. We've got for the heifers, which is heifer 21, and for the milking or lactating cows, which is daily.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
We take risks every day, with some big things and some little things. Other risks are out of our control. But no matter what's important in your life, Savenda Insurance has got you covered. Whether it's for your home, vehicle, investments, or the people you love, you shouldn't have to worry about securing the future. Let us handle that. Since 2014, we have helped Zambians protect their health and personal property, offering peace of mind and fostering progress and development. Taking risks is what makes us grow. Insurance is what keeps us going strong.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amidst uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilo. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Your love always brings me back.
In international news, South Africa is currently experiencing a surge of new COVID-19 cases driven by 2 Omicron subvariants. A group of South African health workers crisscrossed the country to bring COVID-19 vaccines to rural communities. If 45% of adults are fully vaccinated in the country, the Southern African nation observes, similarly to other parts of the world, a rural-urban vaccine divide. Among factors like geography or education, misinformation also contributes to vaccine hesitancy. Today, the health professionals team were warmly welcomed at the Lundini Primary School. For more in international news, here's more stories.
The South African health workers crisscross the countryside to bring COVID-19 vaccines to communities. If 45% of adults are fully vaccinated in the country, the nation observes a rural-urban vaccine divide. On Wednesday, the health professionals team, in partnership with USAID, went to the Lundini Primary School.
We all underestimated the level of mistrust, the fears of the use of social media amongst young people to spread misinformation. But if you get them to people, people are likely to get vaccinated. So we're finding higher uptake in rural compared to urban settings in South Africa because these populations have continued to have unequal or in many cases no access to vaccinations. And now that we're getting them to people, you can see people lining up for vaccinations. You barely see this in urban settings in South Africa anymore.
Armed with a megaphone and coolers containing the vaccine, workers from the non-profit organization Right to Care take doses door to door. They have set up vaccination sites in the remotest areas of the Eastern and Northern Cape. The team also shares their experience with other provinces. Often faced with rejection, their mission has turned out to be an awareness-raising one as well as a health one. South Africa is experiencing a surge of COVID-19 cases driven by 2 Omicron subvariants. In this Goma factory floor east of DRC, students are busy at their workstations. They are in their 6th year of mechanic studies at the Goma Institute of Technology and Industry. They have built a vehicle with waste material after 2 years of work. This achievement has been a source of pride for the group and the teacher, and today the training continues. Each time we repair a car engine, if it is a diesel car, we always check whether the injection pump is working and ensure that it delivers a consistent flow according to the data of the settings. The students aged between 15 and 20 have used all the technical skills they've acquired to build Mad Max. It is the name they chose for the vehicle shaped like the safari model of the British car manufacturer Land Rover. In order to make their dream a reality, the group of 12 students had to overcome material and financial hardships. And their efforts paid off as the impact has exceeded their expectations. When the project was completed, we saw the joy of inhabitants of the city, and suddenly everyone was interested in our project. They promoted it on social media, which proved their intention. But we need funding. They may have intention, which is important, but without funding, it remains insufficient. As time passes, we are sure investors will come. Since we used some discarded elements, we cannot give in detail the sum of money we invested in this project. But it cost us around $2,500 US. Thanks to the car we built, we would like for the world and for the Democratic Republic of Congo to know that there are talents in the DRC and that the young people that we supervised are able to make great things. They started with waste material and were able to turn them into something visible. The vehicle was built using scrap metal and works with a diesel engine. Mad Max uses 1 liter of oil for 7 kilometers, which enables the car fuel consumption to meet international standards. To develop other samples of this prototype, the students hope for the Congolese government and other benefactors to help them reach the next step.
It's now time for sports news. Sports news: Chipolopolo striker Fashion Sakala has bounced back from the Europa League heartbreak to win his first European football trophy when he lifted the Scottish Cup with Rangers on Saturday, May 21, 2022. Zenith Sports reports that Sakala's Rangers won the Scottish Cup after beating Hearts 2-0 in extra time of a tough encounter played at Hampden Park in Glasgow, Scotland. Stunning strikes from Rangers super subs Ryan Jack and Scott Wright in the 94th and 97th minutes of extra time ensured that the Giovanni van Bronckhorst tutored side ended the season with silverware. Sakala came on as a substitute in the 106th minute to replace Joe Aribo and ensure Rangers held on for the win that put them behind the Europa League final setback on Wednesday, May 18, 2022. It was Sakala's first season with Rangers, and the Zambian international ended the campaign with 9 goals and a Scottish Cup winners' medal. Rangers, who lost the Europa League final against German side Eintracht Frankfurt 5-4 in a penalty shootout in Seville, Spain, ended a 13-year wait to lift the famous old trophy and bring it back to Ibrox Stadium. In other sports news, game day 1 of the Basketball Africa League finals, Yaoundé FAP stand horse rage to advance to the semi-finals. The Cameroonians thwarted Saturday all predictions to win a 3-point lead 66-63. Joel Almeida and his teammates perfectly kicked off the game and widened the gap during the first quarter 23-17. Duchamp Momons, who's the Game 2 MVP, came off the bench to score 14 points. The defensive pair Cedric Kenfak and Aurich Komche secured 8 rebounds each.
Game day 1 of the Basketball Africa League finals kicked off in Kigali on Saturday. The Angolan Petro de Luanda was the first to reach the semi-finals. They got the upper hand over Moroccans from AS Saleh.
Bucket, isn't it? Look at that. That's the biggest bucket I've ever seen.
Despite efforts, they lost yet another game to the Petro de Luanda, 89-102.
With a big response there, needed to get the point.
The Angolans knocked them out of the competition last year at the same stage.
Well, look at that, semi-finalists, and that is the final, the 3-point.
During the other quarter-final of the day, the Cameroonians from FAP stand host Rwanda Energy Group. It was a close game throughout in the Kigali arena, but FAP eventually kept the lead to secure a 66-63 victory. Deshaun Mormon, who is the Game 2 MVP, scored 14 points and was involved in 3 assists. FAP will play Petro de Luanda on Wednesday for a spot in the final. Game 3 and 4 of the playoffs are scheduled on Sunday afternoon, starting from 12:30 p.m. GMT. The winners will meet during the next semi-finals.
To end Camnet News, the headlines once again. NUPEZ describes the operations at the Ministry of Education as chaotic. UPND urged NOT to offer amnesty to allegedly corrupt individuals supporting the party. MUTENDERE Ward 34 Councillor BONIFACE CHIBEKA accused of illegally selling land. In international news, health workers in South Africa on a mission to breaking the rural-urban vaccine divide. And in sports news, Chipolopolo striker Fashion SAKALA has bounced back from the Europa League heartbreak. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from Proverbs 18, verse 10-12. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are protected. A rich man's wealth is his fortified city. In his imagination, it is like a high wall. Before his downfall, a man's heart is proud, but humility comes before honor. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Good night.